Hey guys, welcome to Top 10 Gaming. I'm your host Kelly Pally, and today we're taking a walk down memory lane and looking at some of the most outright silly and stupid bosses to ever grace your screens. While some of the bosses on this list are from really awesome games, you can't deny that some of these bosses are, well, a little lackluster. Friends, a good boss or villain is a well-made one. Just remember that. That being said, let's jump right into our list of the top 10 dumbest video game bosses. And at number 10 is John Romero from Doom. John Romero is a pretty important guy in the history of video games. He's a designer, programmer, and developer, and he played a huge role in creating the first-person shooter genre, and is even credited with coining the term deathmatch. So kudos to you, buddy, for making yourself into the giant demon head on a stick boss that you have to kill in order to finish Doom 2. Takes gusto. But it's still kinda dumb, and pretty alienating to players who don't know who he is. And at number 9 is the giant Nazi zombie Fetus from South Park. Incredibly dumb, but wonderfully hilarious. I shouldn't have to explain to you guys why South Park is generally comedic genius, or at least a specific type of comic genius. But giant Nazi zombie Fetus really manages to satire the boss fight in a wonderful, wonderful way. Who doesn't want to kill a giant Nazi zombie? Really, the Fetus aspect is just the cherry on top. And at number 8 is Valor from Bayonetta 2. It's like they just kinda ran out of ideas, so someone suggested that they just use a dude whose defining feature was his weird large head all over all of the disproportionate head with the sword and the little body. I can't really take you seriously here. But really, it's the expression on Valor's face that does it for me. It's so serious. Just so serious. And number 7 is the bride from Splosion Man. Well, ain't that just the least creepiest way to enter a room? So the bride is a psychotic woman with profusely inflated features. Yeah, let's go with that. And I'm sorry, those slaps, just like, ugh. I can't, they're great. And then it turns out that her boobs are actually the eyeballs of a big purple monster that she's sitting on top of. Which, like, I'm not even gonna bother questioning anatomy at this point, but it still makes for a very interesting boss battle. And at number 6 is the Destroyer from Borderlands the pre-sequel. Yeah, it's all sharp and stuff, but let's look at the majority of its body mass. A giant swelling ball of mushy guts, with one very invasively large eye and gaping suggestive orifices. And while all of that may seem super sensitive, no, the weapons that theoretically could rip it to shreds don't like hurt it at all, or hurts it very little. So it's super jacked up in order to make it difficult. I mean, spikes can only get you so far, friends. And at number 5 is Outlast Wall Rider. This one makes the list for how obnoxiously frustrating it is. First off, it's a ghost kid. The game has been leading you up to this point fearing this terrifying force, but nah, it's just a pissed off kid whose corpse is stuck in a tank. Rad. He's technically not even a boss in the traditional sense. Like, there isn't really a boss battle, it's just you kind of running away from him. But the game is set up to feel that way, and within the last several minutes you're running around with, like, your fingers still chopped off and realistically bleeding out, might I add, but I guess that's not important. And this the spirit is just chasing you around. Wall Rider. I mean, like, I was so stoked. Real creative name though, guys. Although it did originate from the people locked up in the asylum, so I guess their creativity might not be their strong suit. Anyway, this boss level leaves you running around like a moron, avoiding him a bunch of times, and then finally cutting off his life force. And unlike the other boss-esque levels in the game, it's so damn straightforward, and totally out of tone with the rest of the game. And the ending? Well, no spoilers, but it kinda leaves you feeling angrily nihilistic. Yeah. And number 4 is Nihilanth from Half-Life. A weird oozy fetus? Yeah, sure, why not? That's a good boss, right? Okay, real quick question, guys. Basic biology here, how does this thing even survive? Cause like, it's gotta stay upright, and it uses a cord to do so, and it just generally doesn't look like it's doing all too hot. Like, health-wise, I'd be like, are you okay? You don't look too shabby. Anyway, once you destroy all the crystals in the cavern, this big bad baby is just kind of a walk in the park. And unfortunately, a bit of an eyesore. Man, what's with this fetus motif? And at number 3 is Psycho Mantis from Metal Gear Solid. Meryl's not herself, eh? No Sherlock. So once you knock Meryl out, Psycho Mantis gives you a cringeworthy villain speech and is like, hang tight, let me read your past, and you're just like, yo, can I just please kill you now?
No, there's no need for words, Snake.
And his readings are so vague, he's like a bad psychic in an episode of Maury. And then when you finally can shoot him, he just kinda like floats there all majestic with like these floating chairs around him and other objects, and he's just chanting, I can read you! Like, if he repeats it enough, it'll make it true. Because when you eventually shoot him enough, he's like, why couldn't I read your mind? And then he tries to use the threat of Meryl blowing her brains out, like, to stop you, which like you can easily stop though, and he just doesn't throw you off your game. Come on, weak, dude. And at number 2 is Arkham Asylum's Joker. The reason why it's dumb? Well, first off, it's untrue to the nature of the character. The Joker has never relied on brawn to defeat bats, so it kind of felt like a sloppy excuse of a final boss. And while arguably jacked up Joker looks kinda cool, his fighting tactics are oh so off the mark when it comes to the classic rogue we all know and love. Oh hey, just hold up, fight a bunch of my minions while I hang out on this ledge up here and wait patiently for you to beat them up, and then maybe I'll just like come down and slap you around a little bit. Okay, cool. Have fun. Also, why does he have a mohawk? Someone please tell me why the mohawk is necessary. I'm sure the enlargement of his head wouldn't have forced it into that specific style, and now the Joker just kinda looks like a douchey Doomsday, who's already a douchey version of the Hulk. Just too much douchery. Luckily, Joker redeems himself in Arkham City, but will forever be scarred by that jacked up Joker. And finally, in at number 1 is Mara, from the Shin Megami Tensei series. Okay, so that's a penis. Straight up, guys, that's a dick. That is a green dick. Don't care how you try to spin it. It's a dick. Also, the fact that there are lists online covering the top 10 genital demons in the series, well, I think that kind of speaks volumes. And it's also a dick riding around on a chariot to boot. So the Japanese word Mara is actually slang for penis. So I mean, at least the developers were self-aware, I'll give them that. But it's still a dick. There we have it, guys. Did we include your favorite dumb boss on this list? Any you think should make our next list? Give us a shout below, and make sure you hit those like and subscribe buttons if you want to see more game lists coming your way. But for now, I'm Kelly Pally for Top 10 Gaming, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.